Okay, everybody, I want to do I want my thing to work. And I want to do polynomial application problems in another video. After you learn about systems, you're gonna do system application problems. That's what this one is about. Polynomial and quadratics application problems. All right, so the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I am not going to make you memorize it. I will give you that formula. My philosophy on memorizing formulas is this. No matter where you work, whether it's McDonald's or you end up working for a law firm or you end up teaching, fourth grade science, I don't know, wherever it is, okay? You will eventually, if you're doing something over and over and over again, like that requires a formula, or how long fries take to cook, or how much to charge per hour for making a certain document, or whatever it is, you will use it so much, you will eventually have to stop looking at the sheet that information is written on, and you will just naturally learn it. Okay? And so that's why I don't, aside from the absolute essential formulas, or basics, I don't believe in memorizing. And there's Google. Like, if you needed to know, how many inches were in a foot, I don't know, all of a sudden, because you were helping your kid, I don't know, with some sports something, you just would Google it, right? All right, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. As long as you know that c is the longest side, it's the hypotenuse, it is diagonal. It's diagonal. It is across from the right angle. This is the right angle. Okay. And it's the longest side out of all of them. It doesn't matter if you call that like B or A, or if you call that B or A. It doesn't matter. All right, so whatever A, B, E has to be C. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All right, we want to find the side and the missing. We want to find the missing side. All right, keep in mind the Pythagorean theorem only works in right triangles. When I say a right triangle, I mean a triangle with a 90-degree angle. Excuse me, so that has a right triangle. So A is 8, B is 6, and we don't know C. So in your calculator or in your brain or whatever, 8 squared, figure that out. 6 squared, figure that out. Excuse me, so 64 plus, 36 equals, we don't know. So 64 and 36 is 100. All right, so to get rid of a square, you do what's called the square root. And the square root of 100 is 10. So the length of that side is 10. If, no, this said like 8 inches, 6 inches, then you would need to write 10 inches. Oh, what's going on? You would need to write the units. So another one. All right, use the Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. To figure out if a triangle with sides 8, 20, and 15 is a right triangle. Okay, well, c is always the biggest number. Then it doesn't matter otherwise. All right, so literally, I'm going to type in my calculator 8 squared plus 15 squared and see if that's equal to 220 squared. So 8 squared is 64. 15 squared is 225. 20 squared is 400. 64 plus 225 is 289. That is not 400, so this is a no. Those are not the same numbers. All right, a football team snaps back, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's our triangle. Okay, as long as 25 is C, it does not matter which is which. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. C is 25. A, 20. All right, 20 squared is 400. We don't know. 25 squared, type it in your calculator, 625. All right, we need the, remember, if it's just an x in the thing by itself, or if it's just an x squared in the thing by itself, you need to get that to equal a number. It was in the last video. All right, so we're going to subtract 400 because we want the ABCs to equal 1, 2, 3. So I get x squared equals 225. Yeah, and then to get rid of an x, to get rid of a squared, you take the square root. So type in your calculator square root of 225, and you get 15. Right, and this is yards. So your answer is 15 yards. And if you don't write yards, I'm taking points off. I don't know, you mean 15 dogs, 15 cats, 15 football teams, 15 football players, 15 quarterbacks? What do you mean? All right, not going to panic. We'll do the same thing. This guy is C. We'll call that A. We'll call that B. B squared plus B squared equals C squared. So x squared plus 12 squared equals x plus 8 squared. X plus 8 squared is not x squared plus 64. It is x plus 8 plus 8 equals x squared. And then 12 times 12 is 144. All right, so for this guy, we need to FOIL it out. So x times x is x squared. X times 8 is 8x. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times 8 is 64. All right, this guy has x squared and x. So we need everything on one side and equal to 0. I'm going to move this x squared over to right there. I'm going to move this 144 to the regular number. So you cancel, so I get 0 now. X squared minus x squared is they'll cancel. And then 8x plus 8x, 16x. 64 minus 144. I don't know what that is. -80. All right, now I just have an x. There's no x squared. So when there's just an x, then you get the x equals a number. So I'm going to add this 80. I get 80 equals 16x. That 16 is being multiplied. So I need to divide. I'm going to do 80 divided by 16. I get x equals 5. All right, so this is 5. That's 12. And 5 plus 8 is 13, just so you know. All right, let's do another one like that, because you're going to see a problem like this again. All right, this family lives on a corner lot. The children cut across. Here's the diagram. They want to know how much is saved. So there's several parts of this problem. I promise you're going to see this problem again 2 more times at least. All right, this is C. Let's call that A and that B. All right, A squared. All right, A, x squared. B, x plus 1. C, 5. All right, x plus 1 squared is x plus 1. X plus 1 means write it twice. And 5 squared is 25. All right, x times x. X times 1. 1 times x. 1 times 1. And then 25. Okay, let's combine like terms. So I get 2x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 25. So here on that equation, I have an x squared and an x. That means I need to make it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract this 25. He's a regular number. So I'm going to put it with the other regular number, that constant. I get 2x squared plus 2x minus 24 equals 0. I promise you this guy right here is the hardest problem you will come across, okay? So I'm doing it with you. I'm coming over here. 2x squared plus 2x minus 24 equals 0. And we want it to equal 0 because we have the x squared and the x on the same side. All right, everything's even. So let me take it. X squared plus x minus 12. All right, now I can factor just the inside guy. And so I'm going to say, hey, what equals negative 12? Adds to give me 1. That would be 3 and 4. This one is positive, so the bigger number is positive, so 3 is negative. So I get x minus 3, x plus 4 equals 0. Okay, I need to solve it so I can figure out what each length is. So I'm going to do x minus 3 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0, so I get x equals negative 4, or I get x equals 3. All right, a distance cannot be negative. So in this particular case, he goes away. So this is my only answer, 3. So he's 3. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and that's feet. So that's 3 feet, 4 feet, and 5 feet. So if you walk diagonal, you're walking 5 feet. If you walk this way, you walk 7 feet. So if you walk diagonal, you walk 5. They want to know how much is saved. If you walk this way, you walk 7. So you actually saved 2 feet by walking diagonal. This problem we just did is the hardest problem you're going to come across. Okay, let's do this. After a final exam, a student goes to the top of the building, throws the book in the air, and we have this guy. How long is the book in the air? All right, we always want the squared value to be positive. So let's take out that 16 so that we have t squared minus 2t, and then 128 divided by negative 16 is negative 8. Let's factor this. Multiplies to give me 8, but 2. 2 is negative, so that means the bigger number is negative. I'm going to get x minus 4, x plus 2 equals 0. All right, so I'm going to set each one of these three guys equal to 0. So when I add 4 to both sides, I get 4. When I subtract 2 on both sides, I get negative 2 and 4. But 16 will never equal 0, so ignore him. It doesn't tell you, this is probably in seconds, by the way. I don't know why it didn't tell us. All right, you can't have negative seconds. So 4 seconds. Let's do another one just like that. Okay, here we are. Rocket is the height of a rocket is this guy, feet above ground, t is in seconds. How long will it take for the rocket to hit the ground? Okay, at the ground, the height is 0. Just like before, that's why we set it equal to 0. Negative 16t squared, 278.4t. All right, I still need t squared to be positive. I'm going to take out a negative 16. They both have a t, so I'm going to take out a t. So I have t, and then 2784. I'm going to divide by negative 16, and I get negative 174. And that equals 0. So I'm going to set this factor equal to 0 and that factor equal to 0. So negative 16t equals 0. And then t minus 174 equals 0. Well, here, if I divide everything by 16, 0 divided by 16, I get 0. And if I add 174 to both sides, okay, this means that at 0 seconds, the height is 0, and at 174 seconds, the height is 0. So it will take 174 seconds for that rocket to come back down. The rocket starts like this and it goes like this. So at 0 seconds, the height is 0, and at 1, that's a horrible picture because it shouldn't be below there, but at 174 seconds, the height is back at 0. All right, so go do your homework, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.